So, friends, welcome back to another episode 2 of AI. Are we in the future? So, yet again, we have our esteemed guest, Sri Krishna. As I already said, he's an AI evangelist. Today, we'll ask him why he calls himself an AI evangelist, a product and delivery leader, business strategist. He holds an MBA from ICFI, ICFAI Business School, and has numerous industry certifications in AI, Agile, and project management. And you can connect to him on the link on the LinkedIn, which I'll scroll on the screen. And he has 20 years of great experience in IT, and especially right now is laser focused on AI driven business transformations. He's calling them agents. So we'll find about agents. Uh, uh, we'll have a juicy discussion. We'll have a fireside chat with Krishna. Krishna, welcome again.
Thanks.
Such a great discussion last time. So again, I'm going to bug you with a lot of questions. We have to, you know,
Sure.
uh, um, kind of cater to not just my questions but our audiences as well. Because today I came up with a couple of audience questions too. So tell me how you're doing.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks to AI.
Wonderful. I
I
love that. I love that. I love that
because
answer.
I uploaded most of my work to AI to do, it's not that I just don't do it. I review it actually. Now I would say most of the humans will be acting the role of a reviewer than, in any facet of life. For example, you discuss with ChatGPT, you review it, right? It's continue, you review and then accept it. It's not you do. So most of my heavy lifting is done by ChatGPT. So I review it, accept it, and make it, I tinker it.
Do
So
you also make it right your things like
I
suppose
write some.
write a
See, there is
4 or 5 pages of
uh
draft?
yeah, and currently, if you ask me, anyone can write anything using AI, any
Correct.
topic. Okay, you just give it a link. Any article link, you can tell 2 3 websites link. You can give it to ChatGPT and ask it to write an article. So that's actually, if you ask me, that's not own thinking. You know, you can
Correct.
just write something and paste it. Um, there is nothing wrong if people are doing it, but but
Before
I
I
my approach, yeah,
go ahead, please.
my
I'll allow you to finish your sentence.
so what I do is I input 80% of, see, the beauty of this ChatGPT or any model is you can throw your random thoughts. It will give them in a constructive way. That's what I prefer in my way of dealing any article. I have some thoughts. I just talk to it mostly. I just talk to it in in a fashion, what thoughts come to my mind. Then it will actually coherently place them and give me an article. So if people can use it to make it better drafts of their thoughts, then I think it will be more helpful to the society than churning something which is already there.
Wonderful, wonderful. Before I ask you about the agents, which we discussed a little bit about
Yes.
in the last episode toward the end, and also the perils of AI, the seeming perils. I don't think there are any, or I have no idea if there are any. But few other discussions, a lot of people are harboring in their own mind. But before that, I want to ask you a question, a very human question. Uh, with the advent of AI, uh, because you're using, because you are an AI expert now, and because you're using it extensively, and you said that thanks to AI, like a lot of wonderful things are getting accomplished. And you also said AI is your source of happiness as well. Uh, might or might not be. You should tell me. But tell me, I'm asking you a very human question right now. There were times when there were no computers, or even with the advent of computers, there were no smartphones. There
Mm,
were there was just television, radio. There was just schooling, education, people going to offices, people doing different things. Like film stars are mm, uh, making their films, filmmakers are making their films, Aerospace engineers are doing their things. Everybody in their own craft are doing things. Friends are being friends, sitting at a place and having a very human conversation. With advent of technology, there was a talk when internet came and smartphones came. People said that friends, they are getting separated, or they're glued to their mobiles or things. But right now, with the kind of discussion I had with you in the last episode, somewhere I get a whiff of AI giving us the freedom. Are we going back to this? Are we going back to the golden days where AI will do your tasks and you can have a one-on-one, heart-to-heart conversation with a friend? This is just my question. I just felt like asking because I crave those days for sure, where there was no technology, but thanks to technology, a lot of things are accomplished. So it's like a mixed thing. It's like an anomaly of sorts, kind of a paradox. But can you give your take on that?
Maybe this will be a controversial thing, but I will still state it. Okay. For me, since the advent of technology, there has been no the 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 idea of technology is to free up human time or improve the quality of life of a human beings. Okay. If you ask me in terms of human relations, technology has literally killed it. I personally believe technology has killed human relations. Even with advent of AI, I am more and more talking to AI than talking to humans. So if you ask me, so far in my experience or in with my technology and over the years, I don't think it helps much in terms of human interaction and human quality of life. It has not increased. We can see ourselves. We are more addicted to phone than anything else. We just like infinite scroll we do on Insta and all these things,
Those
and
reels and all.
yeah, reels, we consume so much of data. Then where is the quality of life? I'm not saying people are not there. In general, if I take, if it's easy to say it, one or two exceptions are there. Exceptions will always be there, but it's not a norm as such to actually improve the quality of life. That's my take on this. But even with I don't think you'll be more addicted to AI than ever, than having quality of life in terms of relations and quality of life. I think maybe it's a controversial statement that AI won't help humans, but this is my take on this.
Let's see. I mean, we'll see uh, whether it is going to be a friend or a foe to us. I feel it should become a friend and integrate people uh, together, in a way where we have harmony, and where we connect to nature and come back. Where I've also seen applications where AI tells which plant, what is the name of this plant and things. So maybe that way I
Yeah,
felt that, hey, maybe maybe it's bringing me back to. I mean, I have mixed feelings, Krishna. I have mixed
yeah.
feelings.
If you ask me, if you take an image of a plant, okay, and then give it to AI, okay, it can identify what, for example, it's a plant infected with something, okay. You take the picture of a leaf, give it to ChatGPT or any tool, it can actually identify what is the problem with that, okay, and get back, give it to you, what is the remedy for that, okay, what pesticide to use or how to get it up, or what is the problem with the plant. Definitely it will help. Again, you are still using addicted to GPT to get the answer. You are not going to expert in your village to talk about it.
Right. Yeah. Those things apart, tell me about the agents, because I never heard this word, AI agents. I mean, what is an agent, and
Mm.
what it does? Why the significance of an agent, and what is it actually called?
Uh, It's in 2025, if you just Google agent economy, right? It's going to, people are calling it agentic economy or agent economy. What people are uh, experiencing is, okay, in 2025, you can actually employ, I'm using employee word employee, okay, loosely. Means you can ask a human to do a task, okay, without human intervention. That means you employ an agent as your employee. It will work as an employee for you to do your tasks. So simple definition of agent is able to take inputs and act decisively and execute a task. That is what is about an agent. For example, if you say simple statement, say that make me $100 in stock market in next 1 week. That's a simple statement input you give. It will go, it will see this thing, it will log into your trading account, it will see what are the, it will do a time series analysis and see how the prices market is moving. It will invest on your behalf and it will take the returns on your behalf. It will execute the order on your behalf. That's where it is as of today. That's what we call agent. You give input, it understands what it needs to do and executes the task. I'll give a simple example. So this is one, and you can say one more. You can say, now if you have built an agent, okay, that can actually, I have 4 social media. Example, I have a Twitter account, I have a LinkedIn account, I have a Facebook account, I have an Insta. So if you give a simple prompt saying that this is what I am talking about a, for example, a product or something. This is what I want, and these are my thoughts on something. Okay, go and publish on all these platforms. I can simply give one prompt, create an agent, give one prompt saying that these are my thoughts on AI, and it will go tweet on the topic. It will go create an video and post it on Instagram. It will go and create an article on LinkedIn. It will go and with image post something on Facebook. This is what it can do with simple input. So these we call agents. So without human intervention, they can take the input and take action.
What domains can agents be used in? So, because now we are hearing about, we're listening to AI in medicine, AI in aerospace, AI in
Yes,
automotive industry, AI in
yes, yes,
uh, the food industry,
yes,
AI everywhere, AI in transportation, AI
yes, yes.
in hospitality, AI in restaurants as well. Uh, which yeah, so is yeah, are these agents applicable in all areas and domains of life?
There won't be a single industry left which is not affected by AI. All industries will be affected except maybe a plumbing job. Any industry you take, it will have definitely have an impact, including people are extensively using. If you see, OpenAI has come up with $200 per month of plan where people can use it for research. That means it will have more bandwidth to access their input and all. So definitely it is helping people, and there is not a single industry it will which doesn't have impact. All industries will be impacted across the domains. It is everywhere, all pervasive. There are hundreds of use cases for each industry. Is this thing for medical research? It can be used for customer support. It can be used for predicting health. It can be used. Okay, and if you ask me, many companies are actually trying to have a initial screening done by AI doctors. That means it will take your all health records into consideration. It will suggest something to do, you do, and then if you may choose to accept, like Mission Impossible, right? If you choose to accept, then you can go, or else you can talk to a human doctor. So that AI doctors also, I won't be surprised if they come in future, maybe this year itself it may come. So, and if you ask me, am I going to, will I go to a AI doctor? I would say yes. My answer will be yes. I will go to definitely first shot. I can willing to give it to a doctor before going to a human. I mean, that's what how much confidence I have in these models in AI in terms of medicine. If you ask me, are you going to go under a blade, get surgery under AI? No, definitely no. But initial screening, I'm sure I can
I, I
go
I
initial
also
screening.
heard about nano robots in the future, going into your bloodstream and even clearing the plaque in your hearts and things. I mean, did you ever come across
Uh,
that?
but they're already there, but I don't think this, I mean, I've not seen any use case where AI is used there, in terms of their nanobots are still, yes, medical advancements are definitely there in terms of these, we have to open heart surgeries, we have come to these stunts, we are coming across a long way, but maybe nanobots are the future, but that's a totally different technology,
Okay.
miniaturing robots. than artificial intelligence, like miniaturing the things.
Understood. So maybe I took a guess, but now I understand. So uh, so is it going to become lethal rather? In the last episode, you said that they're not taking Salesforce engineers or per se. I think
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Yes, yes, yes.
I
Correct,
kind of
correct.
forgot, but you said something that
Yes,
AI initially will filter out the junior
yes,
engineers in
yes,
different
correct.
IT fields. Tell us about that.
Yes. Um,
Because the current, I
y-
mean,
yeah,
again,
yeah. If
because the
you
current
ask me,
world, in the world of IT, lot of students, people who have taken up AI, who are not taking AI, who have learned a lot of programming languages and things, are panic struck, are panic stricken because they're. I mean, everybody there is. There are these statements that AI is going to take my job. Throw some light.
uh, I would say this is true, so to some extent. See, why I'm saying is this year Salesforce is hiring zero software engineers. Yet their CEO claims their current employee productivity is going to improve by 30%. You are not hiring anyone, yet you are saying current employees will be 30% more productive. That is all because of AI. Okay. In especially the most hardest hit will be software industry, because now a, which used to take 1 million to build a product or something, now it can be done with $10,000. It's a couple of developers and entire AI generating the code for you. Okay, so that is that's how it became a commodity now than what do you call, than a what, how do I put it? Than something which needs a lot of resources to achieve. So that coding, I would say, now junior developers, if you ask me, is it going to impact the jobs? I would say very marginal. Okay, you may feel that why this guy is making contradicting statements. One side he's saying that there is no hiring, and other side he's saying there are no jobs gone. So what I see is that people coding as it is, I believe, as of today, is more or less dead. Okay, but people need to review the code, make it work. Okay, it's not that people, you can see in use cases or YouTube also, I gave one prompt and I got complete application done, but it is not useful. It has to it has to go to garbage. Yes, it gives something, I'm not denying it. It's not that if you see that there is a famous joke, right? One student says, I'm super quick in mathematics. Okay, then the professor asks, what is this 297 into 1976? He says, it is 23786. Then he said, it is wrong. I said, I'm fast. I never said I'm accurate. So, so it's like that. So, if you ask any coding agent nowadays, so many applications are there. Cursor is there, like many are there. Okay, Copilot is there. Many applications have come out to generate code as front end as well as back end. Still, if you ask it to develop, it will develop. It will be garbage, most of it. Okay, in the first instant at least. People are claiming I did some one application I did over a weekend. Yeah, you might have did, but it's not the production ready. We're talking about enterprises here and production ready code. For that, definitely we need a reviewers who can review the code, ensure that it is it works, it integrates with various components across the application. Okay, I can write an application today in 1 hour to write an email. That is not how enterprises work, right? You need to integrate with different components, different systems. Integration is critical for any enterprise. So these AI agents, we need somebody called reviewer. Okay, so reviewer roles will definitely increase in future. So when if I go back to earlier statement of that Salesforce CEO, why he said his team is 30x productive is now code is generated by AI, but they are reviewing faster. Code generation is fast and reviewing they are doing. That's why that 30% more productivity. In future, there will be huge demand for AI engineers than normal developers. And by according to I think World Economic Forum recent this thing, the latest employment data, I think it has come up 2 3 days back. They are saying huge demands in fintech and machine learning, artificial intelligence and fintech. and as well as AI engineers who can actually create these agents are not going to come on their own. So we need engineers who can actually, maybe using a AI tool, still need to develop an application. Okay. So these 2027 till 2027, the people are saying there's a lot of, even personally, I see there's a lot of what you call upskilling or reskilling to be done across the industries, especially in software. Everybody need to know how to use an AI tool and how to integrate the AI generated code. That's a must. They need to
So,
upscale themselves to till 2027. They are saying the phase, 2025, 2027 is the phase. Lot of upskilling. People cannot say I'm a Java expert anymore because ChatGPT can write a better code than any Java. I'm not denying the person who is an expert in Java. Okay. So now AI can do same level of job of a Java, expert. Uh, he can review the code. Okay, but the thing is, the expert level jobs are more or less, gone. We need the reviewers and integrators, for an application in AI. So these roles, what do you call? AI will not take most of it, but we need these upskilling in the coming years. Okay, I cannot say no longer say I'm a Java expert. You need to know how to use integrate large language models into this intelligence into your applications. That's
point.
where upskilling is the mandatory for the next 2 years is the phase 2 to 3 years is the phase where actually everybody need to know how to integrate this intelligence into the application. So if you ask me, there is like all the while what we have as in application layer. Okay, we have these applications, and now you need to know how to build intelligence layer on top of this application layer. That's where the challenge is now. You cannot say that I'll have intelligence, all of a sudden over nothing. We need a base foundation that's called application layer. On top of it, people need to build intelligence layer. To build intelligence layer, you need different skill set than that is required for building application layer. Application is more or less sorted by AI. It will do the application layer for you, but you need to build intelligence layer on top of it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Uh, you answered my questions, but with your answer, a lot of questions are bubbling in my mind again. Thousands of questions actually. It'll take few more episodes, but I want to limit my question to some very stipulated ones, very important ones. One important question that is coming to my mind is: tell you are an AI expert, you are an IT expert initially. You've got 20 years of rich experience, but I want you to step into the seat of a career counselor for all
Mhm.
the aspiring people out there as an AI expert. Uh, to what extent you want different, beginning with computer science and information technology uh, students, or per se somebody who wants to get into a job as a prompt engineer or a generative AI expert or things. And I've been seeing these ads on
Mhm.
YouTube when I don't feel like skipping an ad. I keep watching that
Mhm.
ad saying that, hey, what do you do? The girl says that, hey, I earn 50 lakhs per annum, and I'm a chat GPT and AI tools expert. I think most of us have
Yes,
seen
yes.
that that I wanted, that's on a lighter note. But to step into the role of a career counselor, uh, what do you think people? I mean, from where should a layman start to get a decent job in AI? So,
I would
what kind of
say
things they want? I mean, you
yes,
said
yes,
that AI can do coding also.
yes.
What are the prerequisites they have to actually muster and master and then learn further?
You're asking me to reveal my secret sauce. Okay, fine. Secret sauce for building applications. So anyhow, if it helps people, I'll definitely do that. So currently, I recommend anyone, to have understand the basics of computer science, a programming language, any programming language, preferably Python. Okay, because most of the libraries or any for artificial intelligence are available in Python. Okay, even if you learn Python, you can navigate into machine learning as well little bit if required. So Python is a basic thing that everybody needs to learn. And most of the people are allowing JavaScript also. You can write an AI agent in JavaScript as well. But still, I prefer using Python because maybe there may be edge cases where you need to do something in that is available only in Python library. I recommend I recommend learning the Python basics. Okay, that's the first thing you need to know. Then you need to know, if you ask me, okay, this I'm trying to put a framework which I would not call a roadmap or framework that you need to we get into this AI engineer role. Okay, but if you ask me same question 6 months back, my answer would have been slightly different. But now today, as I stand today, if somebody may be watching this, maybe next year they may think what rubbish I'm talking. But as it stands today, because it's very dynamic. Once there was a role called prompt engineering. Now the prompt engineering is dead. Nobody is doing any prompt engineering. That is initial phase of ChatGPT when it came. People don't know how to interact with it. That time you need prompt engineering, but you still today you need prompt engineering, but in terms of systems. Well, application development, you need to know prompt engineering, not as a general user prompt engineering. So like that. So initially, I would say start with Python. Okay, you don't need to be super duper expert on it. You learn, decent enough in terms of Python, because Python is vast. Especially if you go to machine learning side, no, it's a ocean to learn there. So I don't recommend anyone to go to that side. Just learn the Python basics. Okay, and then you need to know prompt engineering in terms of system, not in terms of a user. Because if you understand how when we're building an application, we tell the system what it has to perform, what it is a persona. We assign a persona to the system. It's an agent, if you call agent or intelligence, whatever we call it. We assign a persona, then it can understand better. Otherwise, it will across the place, it will be there. And you tell you are a Java expert for it to spin out Java code, proper Java code. Okay, we need to do a lot of system prompting. And this system prompting is done by many models also. For example, OpenAI, if you take, they also have big system prompt um, for their models to understand what person is giving. So similarly, we need to develop system prompts. So first is Python, then second step is prompt engineering in terms of system prompt, not as end user. How when user gives it, how you structure the AI to answer it. So that is second step. I recommend first step is Python. Second step is prompt engineering. Okay. So these things you need to know. Prompt engineering, not like I can do better chat GPT query. No, it's not about that. When a user gives the input, how can you take and ask your agent to work better? That's the system prompt. So you should be knowing system prompting. And then third step is, I would say, learn a framework. Okay, like LangChain. Because end of the day, it's like a chain of events that you need to stitch together to accomplish a task in terms of AI. So I recommend you learn a framework to chain chain different events. Maybe you need to call an API, then pass it to something. And some people say you don't need to have this framework, but I recommend using this framework to learn, because your development will be faster. And most of the times, maybe companies may be using, they'll ask you to use the framework. It is not necessary, but I sincerely recommend to use a framework like LangChain. There are many frameworks like LangChain is better if they learn LangChain. And then third step is you need to know how to perform different agents, link different agents. Okay, I would say you start with what do you call LangGraph. LangGraph is again from LangChain community. I'm using the most popular ones I'm taking into. I may not, advocating to use only them, but that's one of the frameworks you can, uh,
You have a big
use them.
gamut of things, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that we
We
could have
can.
that
I'm just
discussion.
giving a hint like LangChain and LangGraph. First
Understood.
start with Python and start with system prompting, prompt engineering, system prompts, and then third step is you go to a framework like LangChain. Okay, to interact with large language models. Okay, because these LangChain and all, what they do is they help in terms of memory management, database management. You don't need to work on it; they handle all the stuff for you. Okay, these frameworks. So how to interact with the first thing, you need to know Python. Then you need to know what is that you are accomplishing with prompts. So third thing is you need to know LangChain, a framework how to interact with large language models. End of the day, they give an API to you, how to use that and how to interact with what is memory management, what is the context, how to pass, what is the vector database, what is embeddings. All these things you can use, a framework like LangChain. Then you move next step to use, nowadays it's not single agent anymore. So what they are doing is what we need to do is we need to have one agent to do one task. Say that agent will do only one task of, say, example, email classification. It's a good email or bad email. Okay. And we pass on that decision to the next agent. It will actually decide, draft the email. You may ask why you are using different agents for different things. Okay. LLMs are much better when they are assigned a specific tasks. Okay. I can say you read an email, then classify it. Good means this response, bad means this response. Like that, if I keep on entering, right, it will be lost. We talk about earlier episode hallucination. It will go haywire. So it is always better to have these LLMs work on only one specific task. They really do good job at it. Only one task. So that's why
Large language
eh,
models, that's what you call it, right?
so
Okay.
yeah. So these if we open AI LLMs, anything. I mean different terminology, but I can say let's say
Terminologies.
chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, ChatGPT I can say. So how to interact with ChatGPT? LangGraph means it will tell us how to different agents interact with different agents. So OpenAI has got their swarm. Everybody has their own orchestration for the agents, but we can start with LangGraph to use with. Okay, that means how to handle different agents. This agent will pass on the information. This agent will take to third agent will actually execute the task like that. So how to interact with different agents? I recommend use LangGraph. Okay, we started with Python, then we started with prompt engineering, then we went to LangGraph to interact with LLMs. Then you go to LangGraph to how to handle multiple agents. Now comes the deployment part. You can learn to deploy in GCP or Azure or AWS. So this is a path I would recommend for anyone to start with it. This will
Understood.
really help them to have this thing. And you may ask, where is the UI in this? Okay, this is user interface. So they can use the Gradio or Streamlit. Streamlit is the Python based, Python based. It will create user interface based on Python. Very easy, very easy to interact. Very easy to learn and very easy to implement also. Super quick. I don't want you to go to build a new front end using Next.js, React, or Angular. It will be a lot of learning curve. If you really want to get into the game very quickly, I recommend you start with Streamlit. That's a Python-based UI. You can generate UI components like text field, tables, everything. It will does a really good job at showing graphs. Initially, it was built to show graphs because machine learning was all about graphs. It is built like that, so it is now we can enhance it to chat, interacting with chat also. Very good. So Streamlit is the one if you want to implement. But I'm telling you, this is only basic. Streamlit is not it's a basic thing with Python, but it cannot be a production grade. You need a separate front end, either Angular, React, or something, to actually go to the decent front end that you can show it to world.
Understood. Understood. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much for prying with your things. But uh, again, we are almost at the end because our discussions. I mean, they're becoming timeless. I'm losing track of time. We'll do our third episode. Uh, so. uh, in a nutshell, just tell our, because again I'm going to discuss more about a little bit. At least I want to dedicate half of my discussion about your agents, about your services also, in our next episode. But just briefly summarize about the importance of agents, you know, on a on a big spectrum of subjects to deal with.
As I mentioned earlier, like these agents are, across the industries they are impacting. Okay, especially in terms of currently, for example, you take a law firm. Okay, a law firm, a lawyer spends most of his time. First thing is analyzing his whatever he receives it, right? if somebody, files a case against his, and he's taken up a case. So all the case details he need to know, and the court order he received, the summons he received, what, entire thing he need to receive, okay, and review it, okay, and then he need to do the research, like past cases research and all, okay, and then he need to prepare a draft to submit to a court again. So these things, if you do it, give it to AI agent, okay, what will do, it will read the, document, that the case, it will go back and check previous cases that are similarly this thing, and identify relevant section from any penal code, Indian or UK, whichever country it is, and then it will actually suggest a response and create a draft for a lawyer. So imagine the kind of work it is doing for a lawyer to save his time. It can take up more cases. This is a time
How
we can. This is a simple example of, in terms of for law in a law industry, a law firm.
wonderful. So how accurate are these agents compared to the OpenAI systems?
No, these agents are underlying is some model. It can be from OpenAI, it can be from Gemini. Sorry, it can be a ChatGPT model, it can be Gemini model, it can be Meta. You can pick any model, irrespective of the model. The underlying this thing is any model will be there. One model will be there. We need to select. Based on a use case, you can shift the models. For example, I feel this Gemini is doing better job, I give it to Gemini. For example, one task is doing, OpenAI does better, I give it to OpenAI. For example, we use OpenAI for embeddings, it does a better embeddings, okay, and then for reasoning, because context window is big, we use Gemini. Depending on use case, you need to choose the model, okay, each model is good at something or other.
Do
It
you
comes
think
to a practice, like yeah.
understood? Do you think is organizations like NASA and ISRO they're also using AI?
Yeah, it's very much possible. They can implement many use cases are there for, AI. See, I tell you, the beauty of AI is it can interpret large text, which is not possible as humanly. That's where actually it's most of it, and it
Will
can manage
we'll
better.
discuss and we'll until now we had a technical discussion of sorts, but next episode we'll have a philosophical fireside kind of a chat where we'll talk about poetry and things. I know you have tremendous knowledge about various subjects. I can grasp from your words, so it'll be fun for our audience to know more about I don't want them to be glued only to technical things. I want them to get entertained also. So I'm going to
Yeah,
ask
sure.
some funny questions as well, and I want you
Sure.
to decode them and decrypt or give your funny or your honest perspective. So, friends, again, that was Sri Krishna giving his golden nuggets about artificial intelligence, pouring out his wisdom to our MANATV international audience. It was a great 30-minute conversation with you, Krishna. So we will be back again next week with another yet compelling discussion uh, with different tangent to it. This time on many lighter notes, but very useful discussions and interventions of AI in normal life as well, and about its potential future, maybe 100 years down, 200 years down. We'll do some predictive analysis uh, in our discussions, and you guys as well become our judge, comment, give your constructive uh, ideas, and anything you want us to discuss further as well. you know Pour your thoughts, so that'll help us as well to create greater and wonderful and meaningful content. So I will leave this discussion to you all to churn on, to ruminate, and come up with some more insights on your own. And I hope this interview was helpful. So until then, we'll sign off, me and Krishna, and we'll meet you in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank